Welcome back, Focus Learners. Let's jump right into today's explainer because we are unpacking a massive, highly relevant topic from the Intelligent Organization Framework. We're diving deep into Domain 3, which is technology, to look specifically at Capability 4, automation, or as I actually like to call it, the ultimate multiplier. Today, we're going to figure out exactly how to safely and effectively multiply human effort across your entire organization. Okay, let's dive into this. Manual work should not be the operating model. Seriously, I want you to internalize that phrase because it's absolutely crucial. It's the golden rule for our whole explainer today. We're aiming for a total mindset shift here, moving completely away from that chaotic, let's just automate absolutely everything mentality, which, let's be honest, usually just creates a bigger mess. Instead, we're shifting toward a highly disciplined, strategic approach to cutting out unnecessary effort. Here is our agenda for today. 1. The hidden manual problem. 2. Automation as the multiplier. 3. The 5 core behaviors. 4. 3 practical outputs. And 5. The boundary to value.
Section 1. The hidden manual problem.
Because the truth is, most organizations are running on way more invisible, manual work than their leaders even realize. I mean, does any of this unseen organizational pain sound familiar to you? You've got people constantly copying and pasting data between disconnected systems. They're endlessly chasing down approvals through email threads. They're manually updating fragile spreadsheets or pulling their hair out reconciling numbers just to create critical reports entirely by hand. When an organization's automation capability is weak, all this manual work basically acts as a rug to sweep your process problems under. And you know what happens next, right? Teams get totally frustrated by the friction, so they go rogue. They start building fragile local scripts, macros, and shadow IT bots. They're essentially creating these well-intentioned monsters completely without clear ownership or risk controls. It's a massive hidden liability.
Section 2. Automation as the multiplier.
So how do we fix it?
Well, automation is defined as your organization's practical ability to use approved technology to reduce manual work, improve consistency, and reduce errors. But the absolute key here, the make or break detail, is doing this without creating those hidden risks or unmanaged complexities we literally just talked about. True automation leverages your technology environment to make work faster, safer, and much less dependent on brute force human effort.
But hold on, we have to make a really vital distinction here before we go any further. And that's the dangerous reality of automating broken work versus the correct approach, which is simplifying first. Look, AI and automation tools are incredible, a real game changer. But they also make this manual work problem so much more urgent. Why? Because if you apply these powerful tools to a broken, convoluted process, you're not actually improving the work. You are just automating confusion. You're making a terrible process happen at light speed, which for sure just increases rework and massively frustrates your users. The correct approach is always to simplify, standardize, and redesign the work before any technology is applied.
Section 3. The 5 core behaviors.
A fundamental truth of this entire blueprint is that technology automation has to start with the work itself, not the tools. When you're looking to improve your operations, the first question should never be, hey, which bot or AI tool can do this? No way. The first question must always be, what manual work should no longer be manual? So let's walk through the 5 behaviors you need in sequence. Step 1 is spot. This is proactively identifying that recurring manual work, the errors, the handoffs, the delays. Step 2 is standardize. And listen closely here, because this is exactly where that simplify first rule lives. You have to clarify and simplify the work before you automate it. I'll say it again, we cannot just automate bad processes. You've got to lock down the rules, the data, and the success measures first. Okay, step 3 is automate. This means using only approved tools and patterns to build safely and supportably. Step 4 is monitor. You need to actively track whether these live automations are actually working, if they're failing, or if they're creating new risks. And finally, step 5 is improve. Use real evidence to enhance, scale, or actually sometimes even retire automations as your systems and your work inevitably change.
Section 4. 3 practical outputs. Now, creating this capability doesn't mean standing up some massive new bureaucracy. A mature automation capability doesn't create a mountain of administrative noise. It actually produces a very small number of highly useful outputs to keep opportunities visible and patterns clear. If you want sustainable, supportable automation in your enterprise, you literally only need 3 artifacts. Just 3.
First up, we have the Opportunity Register.
Its purpose is to capture the pain it makes manual work and potential candidates visible. The quality standard here? It has to be clear enough to separate genuinely good automation candidates from just plain noise, flashy demos, and low-value ideas. Next, we have standards and guardrails. This defines exactly how automation is built safely. It must be strong enough to prevent those fragile, unsafe shadow bots we talked about earlier. And finally, the runbook and health review. This is what keeps live automations visible, monitored, and firmly owned. The ultimate test for this output is whether the automation can be supported long-term, even if the person who originally built it leaves the company. So, to recap, the register captures the pain, the standards keep it safe, and the runbook ensures it survives.
Section 5. The boundary to value.
Now, to solve a really major headache for enterprise leaders, we have to distinguish who owns the technology versus who actually owns the business value. This boundary line is a fundamental operating logic within the intelligent organization. It works like this. Technology automation provides the approved technical means to improve the work, but it is the factory domain, which represents the business side, that actually turns those opportunities into measured value.
Let's completely separate the two sides so there's zero confusion. On one side, automation. The technology domain owns the approved technical platforms, the safety patterns, the guardrails for access and login, and those runbooks for support. They own the how. But on the other side, the factory, the business, retains full ownership of the process redesign, proving the actual value and ROI, giving final approvals to automate material work, assessing the risk appetite, and managing workforce adoption. Think of it like this. Technology provides the safe, reliable vehicle, but the business decides the destination and proves it was actually worth the trip. I want to wrap up this explainer with a somewhat provocative final thought for you to take back to your teams. Ask yourselves, are we automating confusion, or are we truly improving work? I want you to take a hard, honest look at your organization today. Is manual work just accepted as the normal operating model, or are you methodically targeting it as an opportunity for measured value? Remember, simplify first, build safely using those 5 core behaviors, and let automation be the true multiplier it was always meant to be. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.